Recording in progress.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 15, text number 7. Mamaivamsha jivaloke jiva bhutaha sanatanaha manaha shastrani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Very powerful verse, one of my favorite verses. So here we see Krishna in this chapter is actually, especially in this particular verse, he is making us understand, giving us knowledge about our true identity. Most people do not know what's their true identity. But here he's saying, Mamai Amsha. Amsha means part. Mamai means mind. So he says, all living entities are my parts. And the thing is, we are eternal fragmental parts. We are not the complete whole. But because we are conditioned, we are struggling very hard. Krishna doesn't say struggling. He makes it very clear it is very hard, struggling very hard. With what? With our six senses. Now one may say, hey, we only have five senses. But here he includes the mind also, because mind actually is the culprit. Everything happens in the mind. So what are the five senses that we have? We have the sight, which means the eyes by which we can see, ears so we can hear, nose so we can smell, tongue so we can taste, and skin so we can touch. So all these five senses, including the mind, is what is giving us issues, problems. And all starts in the mind. Very, very, very difficult to control the mind. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains to Arjuna, in fact, Arjuna also says that it's easier to control the wind than to control the mind. So what is the solution? Krishna says constant practice and detachment. These two things are important. Constant practice. That's why Srila Prabhupada kept on telling us, chant every day. Chant. When we chant every day, then gradually we are able to control the senses and the mind. There was a man, he found out, like Aladdin, and that it has a magic lamp, right? Aladdin and the magic lamp. And when you rub the lamp and genie comes out. So here this man had this magical lamp and he rubbed and genie came out. So now the problem was the genie had to be occupied all the time. That was the condition. So this man was excited and he said, well, I want this factory built, and in 1 second factory was ready. I want a bridge built, bridge was ready. Everything he was doing within a split second. So now this person got scared, because if the genie is not occupied all the time, there would be disaster in his life. So he immediately rushed to his guru and he said, what should I do? Because I have to engage this genie. If I don't, I will lose my life. So the guru gave him a very good solution. He says, take a big bamboo stick, a huge bamboo stick, and you put it in your backyard and tell the genie, go up, down, up, down. Let the genie go up, down, up, down. Genie will be occupied and you will still remain rich, whatever you've received from the genie. What an excellent idea. This is what Guru does. He gives us the right guidance. Now, what does this have to do? Up, down, up, down. That means genie is, our mind is like a genie, wants occupation all the time, wants to be occupied all the time. Now, how do we keep the mind occupied? Because if we don't, it's going to create havoc. So Prabhupada says, best thing is you chant. When we chant, when we take our beads, like, we have these beads, we chant up, down, we just keep going up and down, mind is occupied. Then mind doesn't have any issues. And this is how we control our senses. Once the mind is under control, senses will automatically come under control. Now in this verse, Krishna says, due to conditioned life, we are struggling very hard. And what is that conditioning? That conditioning is, I am this body. We are on the bodily concept. We are only thinking about how to satisfy the body. As soon as we wake up, we want to think what to feed to the body, how to dress, how to look beautiful, how to satisfy all my senses. That is the conditioning. But the real identity, our true identity is we are spirit souls and we are eternal fragmental parts of Krishna. Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. But Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, right now we are conditioned. Right? Conditioned because of our association, of our surroundings, whatever is around, that makes us more and more conditioned. And unfortunately, we're just moving from one body to another, like from one house to another, right? You just move from one house to another. And then maybe again you will move to another house. I don't know. Oh, this is it. Every time I remember when we used to move apart from apartments, lease is over, we have to find another apartment. We would say, this is the last one. This is the last one, but there is never a last one. Then after that lease is over, another apartment. That is what we are doing with our bodies. We are giving up one body and taking out another and another and another. And Srila Prabhupada explains, we are moving in different bodies because of our karma, all the activities that we perform. And Krishna says that those who see this moving from one body to another is, which is called transmigration, that person is self-realized, because that person has realized, I am not this body and I'm not supposed to move from one body to another, but break the cycle of birth and death. Now in the purport to this verse, today we'll cover only this one verse because it's very, very important. Of course, all verses are. But Srila Prabhupada talks in his purport about different expansions of Krishna, right? The primary expansions are Vishnu Tattvas, personal expansions like Lord Ramachandra, Lord Nrsimhadev, and the secondary ones are us, the living entities. We are actually separated expansions of Krishna. But our true identity is Jivira Swaruphoy Krishnara Nityadas. We are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. But guess what? Because we are part of the Supreme Lord, we are identical in quality. You see, because we are portion of His qualities, but quantity is not the same. He is whole and we are just a part. Very nice example Srila Prabhupada has given us is about a drop of ocean. We just take a little water from the ocean. The chemical composition is the same of the water in my palm and the ocean, but there is a difference in quantity. I cannot say I'm holding the ocean in my hand. That would not be true. I do have part of that ocean, but that is not the whole ocean. Now, conditioning. We have to understand this heavy word called conditioning, because we unfortunately do not focus on that word at all. Conditioning is what keeps us in this material world. Srila Prabhupada explains that our original home being spiritual world, we've been living there, but then we left the spiritual world because we wanted to enjoy separate from the Supreme Lord. My question is, enjoying? Are we enjoying? Are we satisfied? Are we happy? Are we peaceful? Everybody here is saying no. Me too. No. Because this is not a place of enjoyment. Right? If we are not happy, not satisfied, not peaceful, not enjoying, then what is the problem? The problem is we are misusing our teeny weeny independence that we have. Krishna has given us very minute independence and we are not using it properly. We are misusing it. And that is why we are getting more and more conditioned here. And the only way Prabhupada says is when we start performing devotional service, do bhakti yoga, starting with mantra meditation, where we chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then that conditioning will gradually be removed. It's because of this conditioning we have forgotten that we are not the controllers, but we are the servants. And we have forgotten how to love Krishna. We are just trying to dominate over everything and everybody. And that is why we are struggling very hard in this material world. In fact, Krishna uses a word in this verse, karshati. Karshati means struggling very hard. We all are struggling. How? We struggle when we are born, come out crying. We struggle when we are growing up, in school, in college. We struggle in our marriage life. We struggle in old age. We struggle all the time. Why? Because we are shackled in, sometimes people say, oh, yeah, it's okay to be shackled as long as they are gold chains. That is still bondage. We are still bound up. And unfortunately, false ego makes us more and more conditioned. And Prabhupada says that mind is the chief agent. You can say the chief culprit. Because everything starts in the mind. First the thoughts, desires, then they lead to words, and then they lead to actions. So this is a whole vicious cycle that keeps going on and on and on. Now we learned in the previous chapter, number 14, about the different modes of material nature. So Prabhupada says if we are in the mode of goodness, our activities also will be good. But when we operate in the mode of passion, he says our activities are troublesome. But if we operate in the mode of ignorance, then we travel in lower species of life, like animal, birds, insects, aquatics, all those different lower species, you see. And in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives us a foundation of the spiritual knowledge, which is, I am not this body. We've heard this before, that we are the spirit soul, but unfortunately, the soul is covered up by this body. That's why it's called embodied. The soul is embodied. And Prabhupada says this soul which is covered by the body, it includes the mind and the senses. So we need to liberate them. You see, if we are in a prison house, then we feel claustrophobic or we feel unhappy. But the moment that gate opens, we like, aha, we want to run out of it. That is liberation. So Prabhupada says that if we want liberation, then we need to qualify ourselves to get a spiritual body. Just like to come to the US, we need a visa. So also to go to Vaikuntha, the spiritual planets, we need a spiritual body. Otherwise, there is no entrance into, they say, for instance, I want to come to the US. I'm in India. I want to come to the US. First of all, I won't be allowed to board the flight if I do not have a valid visa. I will not be, because they say you're not qualified. So where's the question of going to the US? We need to qualify. And the whole Bhagavad Gita is giving us the process by which we can qualify to get a spiritual body at the end of this life. Prabhupada says, finish your business in this life and go back to the spiritual world. So this verse is teaching us what is our true identity. There's a beautiful verse which is Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is perfect. He is complete. So all the emanations from his body are also all complete whole. And whatever is produced from his body is also complete. So many emanate from him. Like in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Aham sarvasya prabho mataha sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. So he says that everything, everyone comes from me. So we all are parts and we come from Krishna. But guess what? So many expansions are there. So many living entities are coming out from Krishna. But he still remains the complete whole, complete balance, right? So there is a watermelon and I cut it into pieces. I remove a piece. Does that watermelon remain whole? No. Now a piece is out. But as far as Krishna is concerned, even though we are fragmental, eternal parts of the Supreme Lord, we are not like material parts, but still the Supreme Lord remains the complete whole. So the difference between us and Krishna is that we are parts and he is complete whole. So the basic foundation of Bhagavad Gita is, I am a spirit soul. And the spirit soul, we learned in chapter 2, the qualities of the soul, that it cannot be cut into pieces, it cannot be withered away by wind, it cannot be drowned in water, it cannot be burned by fire, it cannot be killed by any weapon. Why? Because it is eternal. So important to understand the difference between body and the soul. And most important is we understand from this particular verse our true identity, that we are part of Krishna. We're just passing on from one body to another. Scientists have declared that in this body, it changes every 7 years. Guess what? I've changed 9 times already. And this body itself. This body has changed. It changes every 7 years. That means all the cells are replenished. Is that correct? Yes? We have heard that. So, but the soul remains the same. Nothing happens to the soul. One time, a small child asked my husband, how old are you? He said, same as you. And the child was like, no, yes. Because we are all spirit souls. We are eternal. There is no age to the soul. It is this body that we are identifying with that becomes a source of conditioning for us. But once we liberate ourselves from this consciousness, then we gradually start qualifying to become a spiritual, we are a spiritual entity, but even get a spiritual body. Now the question is, okay, I get the spiritual body, I go back to the spiritual world, what do I do there? Right? What do I do there? So Prabhupada says that when we reach the spiritual world, we associate with Krishna. That is our original home. I'm sure all of us have experienced that when we go on vacation, we are anxious to go. Let's go, anxious, let's sit in the flight, let's go. But then after a few days or maybe a few hours, we're like, when are we going home? Because we want to go home, right? That's why it's called home, sweet home. I don't know if it is sweet or not, but home, sweet home. That's what we call it. Because we feel we belong here in this home. Similarly, that consciousness we need to develop that our sweet home is the spiritual world, which is actually our original home. Our spiritual father, Krishna, is very rich, very, very rich. He has all the opulences of the whole creation. So why are we struggling here? When he is over there, why are we here and we are struggling? We are struggling to do 2 jobs so we can get more money, so we can get this facility and we can enjoy our senses and we can go to on vacation to Europe and here and there and do this. Why? Why are we struggling? Because, Prabhupada says, we want to be the controllers. We want to be the enjoyers. And guess what? In the spiritual world, that possibility is not there. Only controller, only enjoyer is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no other way. There is no way we can say, oh, let's go. Just like before our vacation, we plan. Okay, first we choose the city. Where are we going to go? And then we do some research. Of course, we take the help of our God called Google. And then we search there what all is available in that city. What are the places to eat? What are the places to see? I cannot understand that when people go on vacation and they go to see maybe a palace or a museum or what, it's all the same, right? Same roads, same houses, same buildings, same trees, everything is the same. What is different? Just the name. That, oh, I went to Rome, I went to London, and I went to this place and that place. Why? Because we want to enjoy. Enjoy. And then, after some time, oh, we are bored now. We need to go back home. And as soon as we are back home, we start planning the next vacation. Where are we going to go? Right? We are just moving from one place to another. Similarly, we are just moving from one body to another. And Prabhupada explains, even Krishna is saying that we are struggling very hard in this material world. He gives a nice example of an ass. An ass doesn't realize that there's green grass all over. He can go anywhere and feed himself. But no, he thinks, oh, this washerman, only when he puts a huge load on my back, and if I don't walk and do what he says, I'm not going to get the carrot which is hanging in front of me. Very smart, the washerman. He takes a stick and dangles a carrot in front, so that when the ass is walking, is looking at the carrot, oh, there's a carrot, there's a carrot, there's a carrot, I'm going to get it. But then doesn't realize there is grass all over that he can feed himself. That is our situation. I'm sorry, I'm not calling ourselves ass, but we have that mentality. What is that mentality? Oh, there is some sense gratification. If I go a little further, then I'll get this, and then I'll get that, then I can enjoy this. But if we go to our rich Father, the spiritual world, the Supreme Father, who is the richest in the whole creation, then we don't need to do two jobs. Right? Then we don't need to struggle at all. So what is the best thing is to qualify ourselves to get a spiritual body so that we become qualified to go back to Vaikuntha. What is Kuntha? Anxiety. Vaikuntha means no anxiety at all. So it's a place where there is no anxiety at all. So this verse that we took today, excuse me, is teaching us that we are eternal, fragmental parts of Krishna. Eternal, we do not die. That is our real identity. And this verse is teaching us that we are struggling hard with our senses and our mind. And who's the culprit? The mind. So if we somehow or the other learn to control the senses, in Nectar of Instruction, there's a beautiful verse. Vacha vegam manasa krodha vegam jivha vegam udara pastha vegam. That these senses, if we can control the urge to speak, the urge to control anger, the urge to control the tongue, the belly, the genitals, then we become qualified to also become a guru. We become qualified to go back to the spiritual world. So we need to control the mind and the senses. What are the senses? The eyes that see, the ears that hear, the nose that smells, the tongue that tastes, and the skin that touches. These are the 5 senses, and the 6th one is the culprit, the mind. So how do we do that? Prabhupada explains, regulation. When we regulate our senses, that is when we can control them. Just like children, they like to run all over the place. They need to be disciplined. That means they need to be regulated. How? By following a disciplined life. And the Bhagavad Gita tells us that to regulate senses means not eat too much, not eat too little, not sleep too much, not sleep too little. Very, very important. Because if we eat too much, then we become lethargic. If we eat too little, then we go weak. If we sleep too much, we become very lazy. And if we sleep too little, then we are tired. And then we cannot perform any bhakti yoga, any devotional service. So for us, Srila Prabhupada has given us a very simple process by which if we can chant, we can do mantra meditation on a daily basis. What is mantra? That frees our mind from anxiety. And meditation is like not closing your eyes and with, no sound or anything. No. This mantra meditation is by chanting the holy names loud enough so that we can hear it. Because these powerful sound vibrations, they enter into our ears and go straight into the heart. And they start purifying our heart. So chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And hearing Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita gives us the knowledge by which we can sharpen our intelligence. And once the intelligence is sharpened, our senses can easily be brought under control. When the senses are under control, the mind is under control, intelligence is fed with knowledge, then there is perfection. So this becomes very easy when we associate with devotees, with like-minded people, because when we associate, we learn from them and we teach them also. So I'm very grateful to all of you for coming to these classes on Sundays and hearing the Bhagavad Gita. And I'm sincerely hoping that all of you are chanting Hare Krishna every day. Very, very important. Because that is our only savior in this material world. Once we start following this process given in the Bhagavad Gita, then we will not struggle very hard. Because our consciousness will become pure. Physically, we may work hard, but it will not be a struggle. Why? Because we will be doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. So today's verse is teaching us our true identity. What is our real identity? That we are eternal fragmental parts of Krishna. And where do we belong? We belong to the spiritual world. And so this is where I'm going to end today, only one verse. And